Hi there, and welcome back to another episode of Estate Planning Nightmares and How to Avoid Them. I'm Jon Braddock, and today is an extra special episode because guess what? It's Estate Planning Awareness Week. Yes, that is a real thing. And honestly, there's no better time than now to get serious about your estate planning. But don't worry, we're not here to get all gloom and doom on you. We're here to avoid those nightmares and make sure your future and your family's future is bright and stress-free. So let's dive in. What is Estate Planning Awareness Week? Well, first off, why is there even a week dedicated to estate planning? Well, here's the thing. Estate planning might not be the most exciting topic at your dinner table, but it's one of the most important things you can do for yourself and for your loved ones. Estate Planning Awareness Week is all about reminding people, yes, that includes you, to stop procrastinating and start putting a plan in place. Because let's be real, estate planning is not just for the wealthy or the elderly. It is for everyone. Whether you have a small business, a home, or even just a beloved pet, you need a plan. Why estate planning is so important now and why should I care? Well, let me give you a little visual. Imagine this. You've worked hard your entire life, built up your savings, your assets, maybe even some investments. You're all set to leave behind a legacy for your family, your kids, your grandkids, and even that crazy cousin that you love to spoil. But then you forget to plan for the unexpected. And instead of going to the people you care about most, your assets end up in probate court for months, maybe even years. Lawyers get paid, the IRS gets a nice chunk, and your family, well, they get stress and headaches. Nightmare fuel, right? And this just isn't some wild worst case scenario. I've seen it happen a lot, whether it's family disputes, forgotten documents, or just plain lack of planning. Estate nightmares are real, folks. And let me tell you, they're completely avoidable. What happens if you don't plan? Still not convinced? Let me paint another picture. Say you don't have an estate plan in place. The state gets to decide what happens with your stuff, your money, and even your kids or pets. Yeah, you heard that right. The state decides. Let me ask you this question. When has a government bureaucracy ever been your first choice to handle something personal? Exactly. Even worse, families can get torn apart. Arguments over who gets what are shockingly common. And without clear instructions from you, things can get messy fast. So take action now. It's easier than you think. Now, you might be thinking, okay, Jon, this all sounds serious, but isn't estate planning complicated? I don't even know where to start. Well, luckily, it doesn't have to be complicated. It can be as simple as writing down who you want your assets to go to, making sure you have a will, assigning a power of attorney to someone you trust, creating a trust for any larger or more complex assets, and talking to a professional estate planning attorney to make sure everything is squared away. And that's it. Start small. You don't have to be afraid to ask for help. Trust me, your future self and your family will thank you for it. So why act now? All right, why should you act now during Estate Planning Awareness Week? Well, because it's the perfect time to get it done. It's on your mind. You're listening to this podcast, and there's no better time to take the first step than now. And let's be honest. Do you really want to keep putting this off until later? Because later has a funny way of becoming too late. Plus, it's not as scary or as overwhelming as it may seem. I've seen so many people turn what could have been an estate planning disaster into a smooth and organized process. It doesn't have to be a nightmare. It can actually be kind of overpowering. So here's my challenge to you. Take one step this week, just one, whether it's scheduling a meeting with an estate planning attorney, writing down your wishes, or even just having a conversation with your spouse or family about your intentions. You'll sleep better at night, and your family will too. Thanks again for tuning in to this special episode for Estate Planning Awareness Week. Let's make sure your estate plan is a dream come true and not a nightmare waiting to happen. And hey, if you like this episode, hit subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. Share it with a friend who needs a gentle push. And let's all take action this week. Until next time, I'm Jon Braddock, helping you avoid the nightmares and plan for the future. See you soon.